Hi, welcome to iChime live and in person. This is a recording of a recent meeting held at Common NAViGATE in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Here we had the chance to speak with attendees, speakers, all sharing tips from their sessions and their experiences at the Common Conference, Common NAViGATE. It was a great experience, and I'm so grateful for Common to collaborate with me once again and having a wonderful meeting. If you want to learn more about Common's conferences, I highly encourage you to check out common.org. That's O-R-G. There you'll see all about their upcoming events. Really worth your time. If you want to learn more about iChime and joining future meetings, check out ichime.io. There you'll be able to join our mailing list and you'll receive notifications for future meetings. Thanks, everybody. Hope to see you live again down the road. Take care.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? We are in Pittsburgh. We are in Common NAViGATE today. We are sitting here in the expo. It's a buzz with activity, which is pretty cool. We're having a great time, and I'm so glad everybody's here. A little dark. As you can see, the lighting is not the best. We're going to do our best, though. And our plan today is to meet some of the experts who are attending the session here today and have a little chat. They're going to share a tip or two, as much as they can get in 5 minutes, talking about their sessions, some of the things they've been doing here. And that's how we're going to start. So thank you, everybody, for attending. It's always great to know that you're here. And as you can see, sitting in the hot seat, that's probably the wrong word, sitting in our guest seat right now is the wonderfully talented Mr. Steve Wolf, coming in from New York, Long Island, New York. Steve, it's so great to see you here. Thank you very much for joining me here today.
Thank you for inviting me, Charlie. It's great to be here.
Great. It's always a pleasure to see you, Steve. Steve is one of the most recognized speakers here at the conference, and he's been speaking now. How many years have you been doing Common now, Steve?
I've been speaking at Common for about a dozen years or so.
Yeah, a dozen years. It goes quick, huh?
That it does. Scary how fast it goes.
I know, maybe a little too quick. I know. So, Steve, you're our first guest here today, and I'll save all my hard questions for the other guests. How's that sound? But
That's awesome.
Okay.
Awesome.
But so what have you been talking about? I know you have one of your sessions is everything they never taught you. That's one of the titles of your session here. What does that session actually talk about, and what kind of tips might you be able to share with people in the IBMi community?
Well, that session is all about interpersonal communications. Many of us entered this career path working with computers because we're more comfortable working with machines than we are with people. And people are unpredictable. That can be scary.
It's true.
And that can be a career limiting factor if you're not able to communicate with other people very well.
Does that mean that so what are you saying? It's either nothing or all out on social media or anything out, or just somewhere in between that?
Definitely somewhere in between that. How many of us have been in a situation where we're in a conference room and we're going around the table introducing ourselves, and we get nervous as it gets closer to our time to introduce ourselves? It used to happen to me all the time. And what are we afraid of? We're afraid we're going to forget our own name?
I know, but a lot of people literally just have fear of speaking. I mean, even in a very intimate environment, they're nervous, perhaps. And there's a lot of reasons why, I guess. I mean, maybe you want to share some of the reasons why you think.
Well, it's very true. If you ask people what they're most afraid of, most people will tell you that the number one thing they're afraid of is public speaking, and the number two thing is death. And I've never seen anyone die while doing public speaking, so I think we're safe there.
Well, there have been some times, however, when you're delivering content when you feel like you've died, but maybe that's a different story.
It's important to always know your audience. And you always have to realize that whenever you're speaking with people, they want to hear what you have to say, and they're on your side. Otherwise, they're wasting their time. They want to hear what your message is. And that can help. But if you're having a problem speaking in front of other people, I'd advise people to do what I did. I had a situation about a dozen years ago where I had to make a award acceptance speech in front of 300 people. And I was a nervous wreck leading up to this. I had 3 months to sweat it out, and I knew I needed help. So I joined Toastmasters International, the public speaking group. I went through the program, I got more comfortable with it, and I found it could actually be fun. And it helped me in my career because oftentimes we have to make presentations to other departments, to our CEO, to our board of directors, and being able to express yourself in a way that builds confidence is an asset.
But do you think that type of training for traditional public speaking is there a crossover perhaps to be able to speak in meetings effectively? Is it the same skill set?
It's 100% the same skill set. You begin to learn that the only impediment to being able to speak off the cuff is your stress. If you can control your stress levels, then you can talk about anything. In fact, one of the most beneficial exercises at Toastmasters was called table topics. The idea is you're given a topic, and with zero time to think about it, you are asked to do a 2 to 3 minute speech on that topic. And you realize the only impediment is stress because you can talk about anything for 2 to 3 minutes. You even begin to learn about how to realize how politicians do it. Because if you ask a politician a question, they compliment you on the question, they thank you about the question, then they tell you what the question reminds them of, which is what they wanted to talk about all along. They talk about that for 2 to 3 minutes, they thank you again, and they were so eloquent that you don't even realize they didn't answer the question. But the only impediment to being able to speak about anything you want to talk about is your stress. And that's just practice.
So that's good advice, as you said, whether you're speaking in just a meeting of 3 people, 30 people, or in front of a very large audience, or maybe even 500 people at a wedding, for example.
Absolutely. You want to be able to give that toast, bring people to tears occasionally. You definitely want to be comfortable speaking in front of other people. And it's a skill that can help you in your career.
And I think that's the operative word right there. It's a skill that can be learned. It's a skill.
Exactly. It's something that you have to practice and become more comfortable with. If someone had told me 15 years ago that I would be standing in front of other people and speaking by choice and enjoying it and having fun with that, I would have told them they were out of their minds. But you try something and you find that it actually can be fun and enjoyable, and it's a growth opportunity.
Absolutely. And of course, there are people who have, as we say, natural born speakers, but anybody at any level, it's a skill that can be certainly improved over time with practice.
Absolutely. And it's something that can help you in your career. You also learn that when you're delivering a message, you want to find what is going to resonate with your audience. For example, let's say that you wanted to convince your board of directors to invest in a brand new Power 11. There's a lot of reasons why you want to upgrade to a Power 11. But if you know that your company right now is hyper focused on security, maybe you want to couch that message in a way to focus on the fact that it'll enable you to go to 7.6, which will include MFA integrated into the operating system. And by knowing your audience and understanding what message will resonate with them, you can deliver the message in a way that'll be most impactful.
Steve, I think that's great advice for any audience. I think you've really distilled all the secrets right there of public speaking, right there, and in our short discussion here. So thank you very much. And thank you for, just by the way, thank you for all you do for the community and for the events here. It's really great. And I'm most appreciative of your friendship and the fact that you joined me here today. Thank you.
Right back at you, Charlie. The amount that you do for this community is just beyond belief, and you are a wonderful mentor. And in fact, it's not a secret that my first speaking mentor was none other than Charlie.
Ah, well, well, thank you for that, Steve. It came easy because even though it's a skill, I think you are a natural born speaker. How's that sound?
I wish it were true, but thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, my friend.
Anyway, we're going to bring on the next guest, and thank you very much, Steve, for your time today. Really a pleasure.
Thank you, Charlie.
A pleasure. Thank you. None other than Mr. Brian May. Hello, Brian. Thank you.
How's it going?
It's going well. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
I'm always happy to help. You know that.
Absolutely. So Brian, you are what's your exact title at Profound Logic?
Currently, my title is the Principal Technology Evangelist.
Wow. And that's a perfect title because I know you are an evangelist on every level.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a big part of my job to talk tech in the community with our customers, help them set their technical directions, and then within the company to also be a technical advisor in what we're doing.
One of the hot topics at this event and many events that I've attended this year, of course, is AI, of course,
Sure.
right? And that I don't see that changing anytime soon, but within that umbrella, the actual content itself is ever changing at
Yes.
a very fast pace. And I know more recently, the big topic right now is agentic AI, certainly, and an easier way for the agents to speak to external tools, for example. And you want to discuss some of that and what that is exactly and how you see it working in an AI environment.
Sure. So, I work with a lot of customers and, a lot of experimentation on my own with these kinds of things and finding ways that we can automate uh, things in the business that bring a little less value, right? Trying to find that busy work that people spend all their time on that can be automated and to free them up to do high value work, right? So find the things that bring real business value. Um, there's a lot that goes into those decisions. You have to really think about it because as well as AI is not perfect. So when we start talking about things like agentic, things where AI is going to be taking actions on its own, you have to do a lot more risk assessment, right? Because what is the risk if it's wrong, right? So, if it makes a mistake, is it going to cost us $1 million or is it a $10 mistake, right? So we do a lot with that and help customers figure that out. And we found just some things that seem to help. So, for example, if you're building out an agentic process, you can actually ask the AI to give you a confidence score on what it found, right? So you can play with that, and you can in your process you can say, well, if the AI is 80% sure, then go ahead. If it's less than that, let's send an email, right? Let's get a human involved and go through the process, right? And so that's actually been pretty useful for a lot of processes where people are trying to automate.
That's fascinating. And as far as the actual plumbing underneath, I mean, the term that I keep hearing over and over again, obviously, is MCP.
Sure.
So you want to just give us an elevator pitch or maybe a minute or so on MC, if you can. I know it's a big topic, but
It's a big topic. Sure. So MCP is a interface standard that the AI industry is just kind of converging on, right? Everyone's adopting it. Anthropic originally came up with the standard. I know that Microsoft Copilot has implemented it, obviously Claude, and ChatGPT has its own version of it that's getting implemented. But basically, what it is we've all agreed how different data sources or services can communicate with AIs universally. So think of it like a USB port, right? Every device that has USB, they know how to talk to each other, right? It's the same kind of thing. So you can have an MCP server and plug that into whatever AI tool you're using, and you can make data sources, tools, functions, all of those available, and then your AI can just use them. You don't have to program API calls, all of that. The model just looks at the MCP response and it just knows what to do.
that's what. So that really has leveled the playing field and really,
Yep.
and I think also ramped up implementation. Certainly, you don't need to.
Sure.
We don't need to worry about versioning of APIs, anything. It just works.
Right.
Well, there you go. In less than 2 minutes, you've completely distilled, and everybody now knows what MCP is for sure.
Yeah. And it's opened up a lot of possibilities, right?
Yeah.
did a session here on MCP where I show some use cases I was able to build really quickly, taking IBMi data, plugging it into AI, and having it do real business functions, right? And just being able to write a prompt and then configure the connection to the MCP server, and the models are smart enough, they just figure it out, right? It's just like I'm talking to an intern. Hey, I need you to do this. Here are the steps, right? Here's some extra information to get you oriented. Oh, no, here's all your data. And let it go.
It sounds great. I encourage everybody to certainly read about that, learn more about MCP. Brian, we're going to bring our next guest in, but I'm always so thankful for your time, and it's always great to see you. I love chatting with you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
We'll talk soon. Bye now. I'm so happy and thrilled to have as a first-time guest, I think, in iChime is Mr. Kent Milligan. Kent, it's so good to see you. Thank you so much for joining our little meeting here today.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's great. Kent, I know you were working on, you're speaking a lot on DB2. That's your area, obviously, of expertise. And I know at this particular conference, I saw one of your sessions that really jumped out at me. It said SQL and temp tables. I know that's a pretty good topic if you're an SQL developer.
Yeah, it's a common technique that's used because it allows you to often break a complicated query into multiple simpler steps that are easier to digest. So that part of it's really good, but the downside is when you use tables with SQL that are in QTemp, there's some performance overhead. And so I kind of talk about alternatives that allow you to do the same step-by-step approach without the use of tables in QTemp.
Not QTemp, but we're still calling it a temp table, though.
Right, but it's a logical temp tables that you define either with an SQL view or a common table expression in SQL. And it allows you to break the query into a simple step, but because it's not a physical table in QTemp, it doesn't have the performance overhead.
So there is a bit of an aversion, I guess, to QTemp. I mean, we've had it in our toolbox for decades.
Right. And people have relied on that technique, but not realizing as they adopt SQL for data access that there's some overhead that accompanies that technique.
So for somebody out there who may not be familiar with that, what would be a good resource for them to look at to learn more about this? Because it sounds like it's from what I'm hearing already, it sounds like there's a good bump in performance just by using what you're calling now a temp table versus QTemp.
Right, and so in the SQL reference, you would find syntax in the documentation on how to create an SQL view where you logically define that data set, or an SQL common table expression.
Right. And do you see a lot of adoption of these right now? Are they being used in a lot of shops right now, or is it kind of thing that we see some shops using a lot and other shops are still just warming up to it, or just not even using it at all, I should say?
It's really kind of a mixed bag. I would say over time, as I present a common, I see a lot more people aware of that syntax and using it. But our expert labs teams also works with several large clients that you would assume with their staff, they would be using more modern SQL techniques, and they're kind of stuck in the past, unfortunately.
Right. So what other tips might you have, or one tip I should say from one of your sessions? Is there a quick tip you might want to share with somebody or share with us?
Yeah. One thing I wanted to highlight, it's been available since 7.3, I believe. It's called SQL Client Special Registers. With SQL, we've always had registers like current date and current timestamp you could use in your SQL requests, but those were read-only. The client special registers, you can assign a character string value in your application, and then that client register is available for your application to use, and it shows up in all the SQL performance tools. So now when you see a slow running SQL request, if you've instrumented your application to say, maybe it's the invoice process running and you store that in a client register. Now, when you see a slow running SQL, you can associate it with the invoice process because that shows up in the performance tool right alongside it.
That's significant in identifying, laggards and jobs that are slow running. That sounds like and that's been around since 7.3.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
It's a simple source or procedure interface in sysprox that you use to call and set it. And there's 5 different client registers you can use for kind of instrumenting your application. I know of several of our software vendors that have done that. And so when I identify a slow running SQL request, I can go to the customer and say it's this business process, this business function in the ERP application that's impacted by this slow running SQL.
And just like that, so you have immediate awareness of what's going on in the system.
Yeah, immediate context.
Wow. Yep. Wow. That's great. That's a very powerful debugging tool, a research tool, things like that, an auditing tool, I should say, as well.
Yep, definitely.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, well, so what you've done, by the way, Kent, is you've, whether you know it or not, I've just added you to our list of future guests for iChime because I think you have so much to share with our audience and in the world of SQL, and hopefully we can get that done at some point in the future. I would love to have you here as a regular guest.
All right, so you're telling me there's more fine print.
There's more fine print. Look, someone even sent a thumbs up for you. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. I don't know if you saw that, but someone sent a thumbs up. So,
all right. Good talking with you, Charlie.
Look. No.
Okay.
So you're getting all kinds of thumbs up here and nice emojis. So
okay.
Thank you so much, Kent. Kent, it's always a pleasure to see you, and I'm so glad we got to chat today. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, great. My pleasure.
Thank you, Kent. I'm very happy to share that this is Mr. Rainier Saju, and he is a work associate of mine, and we've been working together many years, and I'm thrilled that you're here today, Rainier. Welcome.
Thank you, Charlie.
Welcome to our meeting.
Well, glad to see everybody, and thank you, Charlie, for having me.
Yeah, I should also point out that Rainier is speaking. He's doing his speaking debut here today.
Yep. I got tapped by my mentor, Charlie Gorian, over here to do this. So, he's mentored a lot of people, and I'm one of them. I'm happy to be one of them, proud to be one of them. And I'm looking forward to co-presenting 2 sessions with him later on today. One today to one tomorrow.
No, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be great. So, for Rainier, so why don't we share a little bit about? I know, for example, today we're doing a session on best practices of RPG, and tomorrow we're doing a workshop on REST services with IBMi. You want to just share one of the tips we're going to talk about later today on maybe a best practice in RPG? Do you have one you want to share with us from the session?
I say best practices would be making sure that your programs all have the correct control op on the top of the program to make sure that you don't have a compile instruction instead that says we must compile with this option. You should just use the control op at the top to save everybody the grief, and just in case you have any automation that compiles programs, that the program gets compiled the right way the first time and not cause any problems during an upgrade or any other kind of situation where it gets recompiled.
So by having it right in the source code, you can be sure that it's going to work every time. That's
right. I've noticed that, being a consultant and going around to many different clients and working in different environments, I find that some of those things get missed, or they try to put it in a default for the compile option, and then they do a OS upgrade and the option gets converted back to the default, and then you start compiling programs and they're not working right, where this all could have been solved by just having a control op at the top of the program.
And this is the voice of experience. You've seen this actually happen.
Yeah. I've experienced it many times. more than once. More than once.
Right.
This happens all the time.
REST services? You have any particular tip that you want to share about REST services? I know you're in that world almost every day. Any particular tip you might want to share with that?
REST services, I would say, I like a lot of times is developing or taking the sample. Usually when you doing a REST service, the provider gives you a sample or maybe a sandbox to kind of work in, and they'll give you like they'll give you the code for using either SOAP UI or the other one that's escaping my mind right
Like
now.
Postman, maybe?
Postman, and putting it into Postman and basically getting the API or connection working first and having a sample. So basically, when you go into your RPG program, and I would highly recommend using the SQL functions that IBM have provided. They work wonderfully, and they keep getting better with getting fixes. They keep getting better and faster. And once you have the header and all that stuff that you have figured out in Postman, just plug it into the SQL statement, and it usually works right out the box.
I know you're a huge fan, Rainier, of using the newer get clob commands versus the older ones. What's the reason for that?
Mainly the older. You talk about the QSys tools versus
Yes.
the QS sys tubes.
Exactly right. Yeah.
So basically, the main difference is the Java virtual machine that slows well, if you say IBMi and you put Java on it, it just slows everything down. So basically, the newer QSys2 HTTP functions don't use Java, so it makes everything faster.
And you've seen significant improvements in performance, right?
Oh my God, yes, they're like 1,000 times faster. They just come back
1,000 times faster.
Well, yet again, it depends, and even with the amount of data coming back, it seems to be a lot faster, even if it's a large payload.
So, but you might even recommend then for those who are currently in their existing code base using the Java-based one, it might be worthwhile replacing them.
Yes, it's not really that hard to replace. You do have to be pay attention to the parameters. Some of the parameters have moved around, like for the post, where I believe I think it was the header before, and then I think it was the URL, and then the payload, and then the header, and on the new one. But on the older one, it's the URL, then the header, then the payload. So you got to be careful. They just flop some of the parameters around, but it's very easy. And the other thing is the older ones are XML based, and the newer ones are JSON based. So you will have to rebuild your headers in a JSON format instead of an XML format.
Yeah, but you want to know, in my opinion, for for such a big increase in performance, it's well worth the exercise.
Well, yes, we've done that at a lot of our clients that we've actually rewritten a lot of the older QSys tools APIs to the QSys 2.
I think it's great. Thank you.
Thanks,
So how do you feel? We're going to be speaking together for the first time. What are your final thoughts on you presenting here, and maybe to other people who might be considering speaking at these different common events or anywhere else for that matter?
Well, I always kind of welcome new challenges. I like to do new things. That's why I like being a consultant, because I like being thrown into the thick of it. And this is just another way of throwing me into somewhere that maybe I'm not so comfortable with, and just trying to see how good I can do and making myself better, and making putting the word out about Central Park data and trying to get more work.
And of course, just so everybody knows, I'm a huge proponent of getting out of your comfort zone. That's where all the growth is. But I want to add one more thing, and then this is actually not your first time we've co-presented. We co-presented actually. We were together in Tokyo of all places. We did a present, and that was great.
Yes, but it's also easy. I found it easier to talk, when people don't know the language, and I had an interpreter and like a go-between.
Right.
But this is the first time I'm presenting in the States, so
I
think he'll do all right.
He likes to pretend he's a natural. He's a born natural. He's gonna be great. Gold winner. We'll see.
Yes.
Anyway,
it's a good thing. It's only showing from the chest up. They don't see my hands like shaking.
Oh, we're gonna be great. Anyway,
like that.
So Rainier, I'm so glad you came. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you're here, and it's going to be a great time for both of us, I'm sure.
Thank you. Yes, and I'm glad to finally make it onto the show.
Excellent.
All right.
All right, we're going to bring on our next guest, and thank you, Rainier. Always a pleasure, truly. Thank you.
Hello.
How are you, Linda Alkire?
Alkire.
Alkire. Yep. Linda Alkire from IBM. And I want to point out before we even start with our discussion right now, Linda and I have actually done a podcast together already.
We have.
Talking about how you talked. What was it? What was the podcast about?
Well, the podcast was about the next generation skills on IBMi and what IBM is doing to promote that and make it happen. In a nutshell.
In a nutshell, and you are presenting sessions here, I think, on that very topic and other things as well.
I had a session earlier today where we talked about some new initiatives that my program, Power Skills Academy, is rolling out in the next couple of months to help build engagement and get not only colleges involved, but the community involved in bringing universities to the platform.
So what specific ways might the community get involved with furthering educating the people who are new to the platform?
Sure. So we're rolling out something called Partners in Education, PI, because we have to do an acronym because it's IBM. And what that is basically is a program where IBM Power Skills Academy, a partner company and a university get together to build a program specific to that college. And typically it would be a college, in the region of the company or companies. And what the companies can do is they can help inform what the curriculum would be, do a guest lecture, talk about their company, their career journeys, the value that their company finds in the skills, and many other things. We have a whole laundry list of things that the Power Skills Academy would help support, our partners doing and the colleges doing. So that's rolling out soon. Actually, we have a few in the queue and a few success stories to talk about too.
So it sounds like there are many different ways to engage. For someone who might want to participate in this, there are many ways to engage and add value, and to give back, frankly.
Yes, and that's key. I mean, I always say corporate social responsibility. Like, obviously we're all getting something out of having these partnerships, but we're doing it because we care about it. So yeah, there's lots of ways to get involved. You can reach out to me directly, and I would be happy to talk to anyone who wanted to talk about it. So we have this thing called Skills Match, where companies that are hiring IBMi job positions can advertise their company and their job openings on our Power Skills Academy website. It's ibm.com/university/power. And just search for Skills Match and you can find a way to sign up for that. Or you can reach out to me directly, Linda, lhlkire@us.ibm.com. Happy to hear from you.
And the final question I have before you run, Linda, is that people can participate. Is it virtually or in person? Is it or is it only one way or the other?
It can be a combination. I mean, obviously virtual is certainly much easier, but we do try to encourage instructor-led involvement at the colleges, and we're happy. We have cloud resources, and we have people in the region that can help out at the colleges.
And it's such an important thing. I mean, for anybody who's been in the industry any amount of time, they've had mentors all along the way, also mentors and guidance. And I think it's important for everybody to give back in any way, in any size, in any way, shape, or form.
Yes, and I want to add one thing that I just heard while I was eating lunch. A young man who's at Common NAViGATE for the first time. He's a student at Gateway.
Here.
Yes, and he was speaking. He was so excited. He didn't really even know what to expect, but he's going to walk out here with a few job offers, first of all, because he's taken the time to learn a little bit even about the platform. And he's going to go back to his school and talk about the opportunities that he saw, like more than he, could handle, really. And it was really interesting to hear him because that's a good perspective.
So you're seeing it through new eyes.
New eyes, and he was excited, and he's going to get a job. Isn't that what we all want?
No question. That's amazing.
No, yeah. I thought it was
listen,
great.
I'm so happy that you're joining us, and I totally support your
Thanks for having me.
your cause, and
I know you do. I appreciate it.
And I know you're doing great things out there. So thank you on behalf of the whole community.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be here. Thanks, guys.
Excellent. Thank you,
Have a good
Linda.
one.
Hey, Charlie.
Mr.
And
Tim Rowe,
audience.
audience. Thank you for joining me here, Tim.
Oh, my pleasure.
Yet another place where we're together. Somewhere, where else in the world are we going to meet?
We've met a few different places around the world. It's always kind of fun.
Absolutely. So, Tim, I know a big topic has always been IWS, web services,
REST APIs, REST
APIs, exactly. But
Yep.
but IBM continues to enhance that whole product, add new functionality, and just keep making it better and better. You want to share some of the things you know about that?
I might know a thing or two. That's true. Yeah. So the world of web technologies, it doesn't stop changing. It's continually changing. It's continually updating. Well, we on the operating system want to make certain that we respect that and are keeping pace. So IWS has been around for, I think we shipped it first in 2007. And we've updated the runtime engine multiple times over the past few years. Well, in October, late October, early November this year, we have a new update coming out where we'll be switching the runtime engine from the JAX support, JAX, to Jakarta EE. So we're excited about that update and what that will allow to potentially happen. The simple one is it'll run faster. Who doesn't like faster?
And to the unsuspecting developer, what changes must they make, if any, to take advantage of this?
So initially, when you put on the PTF, nothing changes. You have to go take your server and say, convert the server to Jakarta. And then we will convert it, and off you go.
That seems fairly innocuous to me.
Well, that's our goal. Our goal is to make it seamless. The testing that we've done so far, all the services that we have work exactly the same from one to the other, except again, faster. It'll also allow us to enable new technologies. Not only will we be able to use Swagger, maybe we'll be able to use the open API documentation. We'll be able to leverage open telemetry support. We'll be able to leverage some of the potential new security authorization options that may also become interesting and available maybe next year.
And who will this be made available to? Certainly 7.6, but how far down the 7.5?
7.4, 7.5, and 7.6.
7.4 as well.
Yeah. We have a lot of customers. We have some very large customers that are heavy users of IWS on 7.4, and they are super interested in this. Matter of fact, we've got a couple of our customers that are actually helping us with testing. So they're going to get test PTFs and kick the tires on this and tell us how consistent and true is it really?
But the bottom line is, it sounds like there should be some significant performance gains on this.
Yeah, we've seen anywhere from 15 to 20% in our tests.
In a production environment.
In our tests.
In a test, excuse me. But you know,
I don't have a production environment, so I can't tell you
true,
that.
of course. But nonetheless, 20%, 15, 20%, that's significant, especially for the low price of doing very little.
And considering it's not slow now,
right?
It still runs fast, right? So I mean, yeah. So we're super excited about this, being able to continue to extend this key support that's part of modern applications, and be able to take this into the next generation of our existence and the future of applications. So we're excited.
You know, we use with our clients IWS significantly.
Mm-hmm.
It's a valuable tool in our toolkit. And we love the fact that you can, deploy service programs or even just pure SQL, which is it's really great, very flexible, and gives us so many options. So it's wonderful.
Yeah, and the best part is you already own it. It's already in the operating system.
Right. So there's no reason why we shouldn't be using it, of course.
Yeah. There you go.
Terrific. Well, thank you. I'm all excited. So how will people know when it's officially GA on this?
Well, it'll be announced as part of the fall TR announcement, and it'll be available sometime after that.
Excellent. Well, we're excited to start using that. I can't wait to see it. And my big takeaway from this whole conversation that we're having right now, Tim, is going to be a lot happier customers out there.
That's the goal. That's the goal, right?
Great. Well, thank you for all you do and for your great technical team behind you. I know standing behind you is many people who.
Oh, yeah, the smart people are, yeah, absolutely.
So we I continue to marvel how this technology just keeps getting under the covers. That to me is the part that I marvel at.
Better,
Under the covers.
better and better. Yeah,
It's amazing.
great.
Mr. Rowe, thank you. It's always a
Okay,
pleasure to see you, my friend.
Do I have time for one more?
Absolutely.
I'm wearing my shirt today. Did you notice?
The
IC video blog.
I see your shirt.
Do you see my shirt?
Yes.
Yeah, well, the IC video blog, we are nearing our 100th episode. We are, I think, at episode 97 right now.
100?
So, crazy, but yes. So look for something fun to happen around the 100. Don't know what it'll be yet, but we're going to do something fun.
And of course, your partner in crime.
He's sitting back in his office in Rochester. He has his shirt on too.
He does, Mr. Scott
I'm sure
Forsley.
of it. I'm sure of it.
I've seen many of those videos. I love watching them, and there's some what I find most interesting and maybe the most fun is how much fun you seem to be having when you're recording it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm digging in my computer bag for a minute because I figure we can always bring up pictures of Scott. There we go. How's that? Right.
So he's with us. He's with us.
There's a good Scott. Scott's with us on a video blog. Mr. S, the SQL superhero. Ready to go.
That he is. All right, Tim.
All right.
I look forward to your next IC, and thank you for joining us here today. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks for the invitation. Glad I could make it.
I'm so glad to see you here again.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Angelica. So let's just start with the very beginning. So, Angelica, how do you say your full name?
Angelica Martinez.
Angelica Martinez, of course. And I want to just give you a quick background. This is your very first attending a common event?
Yes.
NAViGATE?
Yes.
And the reason why I asked you to come on to our meeting today is because I just met Angelica this week here, but I was I don't want to say taken aback because so many of the students here have just so much zeal and energy and excitement. But something you said to me really struck me, and it was just your excitement about being here at the event and working on IBMi. And I know you're going to be graduating soon with a degree in computer science. So what's been your experience here? This is the face of future developers right here. Here's one of the great faces. What's been your experience here so far?
Oh, it has been amazing. The tips, the information, for a moment, it almost could seem overwhelming, but it just intaking it and really seeing the excitement for the next generation to come in and working with, with what's coming in and what has been done and a lot of excitement. It's been a lot of excitement.
Yeah. And so when you go back, you're gonna spread the word, I hope, right? And let everybody know.
Yes, absolutely. Come to Common, the next NAViGATE, you have to be here. It is inspirational to see everyone, see how everything is going and what the future will be.
So where are you a student of? What school do you attend?
So I am a student of Gateway Technical College in Wisconsin. It's in Southeast Wisconsin, Kenosha Racine area.
And I know Gateway has a great program. It's been around for quite some time, and I know they've graduated quite a few very good people. In fact, I think Marina.
Yes.
Marina Schwenk, who's now obviously a very well-known speaker in our community, international speaker, I might add. So she's really put Gateway on the map, as have so many other speakers. Maybe that'll be you someday. I can easily see you in front of the room someday. What do you think about that?
Yes, I hope so. I can keep working on my speaking, but yes, I will absolutely love to be in front of a room and become an expert eventually.
So what actual areas have you been focusing on since you've been here? Like when you leave here, what are your takeaways? Which sessions have really struck you the most, or ones that you're most excited about?
So I have been going to a lot of SQL with IBMi. That is interesting to see how the coding kind of corresponds with the RPG. But I also have been gone to an AI course, which Charlie, you led that. And I've also gone to I'd say a lot of like beginning RPG just to re-put in terms and solidify what I'm understanding when I leave.
And what's your advice to other students? I mean, I know, I mean, we're always trying to engage more developers, but other students who may or may not necessarily, who may be just considering coming to an event. I mean, we said it already, but it sounds like you really highly recommend it. I mean, coming here.
Yes, my number one would be is be yourself, be confident, and make sure you talk to everyone, network, talk. There are different aspects too of IBM that I was not aware of, as in the in between with sales and customers to the system and other positions that also could definitely benefit with the RPG language knowledge and the IBM system knowledge. There's just a lot of opportunity. Make sure you talk to everyone. And it's a very friendly community, very welcoming community. And I've been very blessed to be able to be here.
So what surprised you most before you came here, and then now that you're here, what surprised you most is like what you were expecting to see versus what actually was here in a good way? What's most surprising to you?
I think I expected more of a technical and professional language. Like when you are interacting with everyone, I expected to be more not as relaxed or as open to just being yourself. I expected it to be more professional, and it's nice to be able to be here, be myself, and be understood that we are all people and we all want to learn what's going on with IBM.
Well, I'm so glad you joined me here today. I really do see you as, you know, the light forward for the community, and I thank you so much for joining here, sharing your kind thoughts. And from me to you, I wish you great success on your journey ahead. I can tell you, you're in for a great ride.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to finish my degree this this semester and have my associates in software development and hit the ground running.
Excellent. And congratulations on that too. Thank you. And thank you for joining us here, Angelica. It was really a delight chatting with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Charlie.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Charlie.
Sanjula Ganapola, so glad you're joining us here today. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks so much, Charlie. Thanks for organizing this. I know this podcast is awesome.
Yeah, this is all good stuff.
Yep.
Coming in from Toronto. I'd be working in IBM Toronto.
Yep. So we got a nice team up there. So a couple of us here. So it's good to be here.
Last time you were here, we spoke about your involvement with VS Code for IBMi.
Yep.
And I know you're still working on that. And that was several months ago, but we spoke about this earlier, and you mentioned to me that, and obviously since then, 4 months ago or so, there's even new enhancements to the tool.
Right.
You want to share some of the newest things that people can look forward to using?
Yeah. So I remember last time, I think at Power Up, I was talking about the unit testing extension, which I'm also going to be talking about at this event. So that's been getting a lot of enhancements. A bunch of people are now starting to use it. So now on top of just the VS Code extension, we also built another CLI tool called iTest. That's very, it's like a companion tool to the extension. It allows you to actually run unit tests in pace, or in fact, actually run unit tests as part of a CI/CD pipeline. And that's like the whole goal, right? The whole idea of modernizing, moving to Git, and then being able to run your unit tests in an automated fashion. That's like one really big thing we're trying to push for. So we have that's coming up. And then I know we also have part of the team. I'm personally not working on this, but I know part of the team are working on a screen designer. So I know a lot of people are looking forward to that one. So lots of cool stuff coming up from our team. And I know actually in the community as well, there's like a whole bunch of community members also releasing their own extensions. So it's actually really cool to see.
That's why the whole beauty of this tool is its versatility, right? And you just keep adding new extensions to it, and it's really cool. You mentioned the iTest. Is that going to be its own extension, or will that integrate into one of the other extensions?
So IBMi testing is going to be the unit testing extension that's already released. iTest is just a Node.js based CLI package that's going to be installed via NPM. So to use it, you're going to need Node.js on your machine. But once you have that installed and you can install iTest as well, you can actually run tests just straight from Pace. And so you can run tests either if you have them in the IFS or in a library, you can run tests from there as well.
What's been your experience or your thoughts on the continued what I'm going to say the velocity of downloads and the adoption rate of code for IBMi? How do you speak to that? I mean, I just think it's amazing to me.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like even at this event, I know there's been a bunch of Code for I sessions, and it's cool to see even other people doing Code for I sessions. I know there's a couple labs that went on at this event, so it's really cool to see the downloads show one thing, right? How many people are actually adopting it. A lot of people actually engaging and helping actually fix issues as well, which is actually really cool. And actually contributing code. So in this session, this conference as well, I'm going to be giving a session for the first time on actually how to build VS Code extensions and how to contribute to Code for IBMi, which is really cool. I see that there's a bunch of people signed up. So I think a lot of people are really interested in learning how extensions work. So I know Christian Larson and Bob Cosley have been working on their own extensions as well and like integrating into all the stuff that we've been working on. So it's really cool to see that as well.
So obviously not everybody in the world is at this event. What other resources might you recommend that people can look if they're really interested in creating another extension, for example? Where might they look? What would be a good starting point for them just to get their feet wet to learn more about it?
Yeah, so the thing is actually Microsoft themselves, who own VS Code, actually have guides that they've put out. And that's pretty much how I've learned it, how other people learn it. It's sort of the thing that you just learn as you go. But if you just look up VS Code, your first extension, the very first link will be a guide on how to build your first extension. That's sort of what I based my session off of, actually. So it's a really great starting point for understanding, how do you create your first extension? How do you start adding some, commands and things like that? So really basic. And then you can start to learn the whole VS Code API and the whole stack pretty much from there.
What's your recommendation to anybody who may have created an extension or enhancement to the tool right now, who may not necessarily have put it out there? But I mean, what's your recommendation? I mean, we should share everything, right? We are benefiting. We're all benefiting from everybody else's great work. If you've created something, you should share with the community, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like even if you do happen to make your, extension and everything open source, that's really one way to really support the community and also engage other people to help you work on it. But in fact, just promoting your own extension, it's really cool. If you have it integrate into other existing extensions, that's also one way to really boost adoption. Because I know a lot of the other extensions, we've tried to keep it all well integrated. So that's one of the ways to really push for, your extension growth.
And for those people who are not as technical per se in creating extensions, but they do have ideas, what's your advice to them to going out and putting their ideas? Where do they go for that?
So there's actually a lot of different options. They can actually reach out to us. So we have, everything's open source. They can open up on our discussion board we have for Code for IBMi. That's a great starting point. There's also the Zulip platform that people use. A lot of people in the community are posting there. Feel free to share your ideas there. You can get input from many people, even from our team specifically. And if you need specific help on, how to integrate with Code for IBMi or any of our other extensions, you can reach out to any of us pretty much. We'd be happy to help. And we honestly constantly look for more points of integration with the other vendors as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I think this has been a great experience for us, and I'm so glad you're joining us here today, Sanjula. It's always a pleasure to chat with you. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks so much, Charlie. And
yeah,
this is a great event. So I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Sanjula. Thank you very much. I'm so happy that we have our next guest here, Mr. Rob Swanson from CNX. Thank you for joining me.
Yes,
today,
with our
Rob.
parent company, Izzy.
Parent company, Izzy. Yes, absolutely. And I know you're actually giving sessions here this go around, Rob. I think you give sessions almost at every conference, I think. But the one that your title intrigued me. Your session title intrigued me. Fun with JSON. I think it's fun with JSON. So my first question is, how much fun is JSON? How's that for a starting question?
Yeah,
But
Jason is a blast.
it is a blast. I agree with you.
Yeah, well, that session you're referring to was yesterday.
That's okay.
Yeah, so that was the topic on that one was how to use SQL to drive your JSON. So letting
Okay.
SQL do the dirty work of building your JSON. So I think what you found fun in that was the word dirty.
I did. I apologize. I just summarized the titles on my little cheat sheet here, so I didn't get the whole title. But what you just described sounds even better. So, what kind of tips might you have for us? Some quick tips, things that you talked about in that very session.
Well, JSON and JavaScript in general would be my tip, I guess. The language of the web is JSON. The language of most web services is JSON. And in fact, in about 30 minutes, we'll be doing a JavaScript 101 session to kind of introduce the attendees to the concepts of JSON and JavaScript together. So when you're doing modern interfaces or web services, you need to be savvy with how to create the JSON and how to consume the JSON. And then the subsequent session, my final one today, will be right after that, which is Node, introduction to Node, which of course is JSON JavaScript on the server side.
Right.
And all sorts of things you can do with Node. And it's just a matter of getting your feet wet with it and going off to the races. And there's as you know, there's so many packages you can download and install, quite easily, thanks to the Jesse Gorzinski's efforts and everything with the open source efforts, that you can really get a lot done, leverage all this work that's out there with minimal effort. Just need to get pointed in the right direction. And that's my focus here at this conference.
It's really true. The open source community is so strong on this platform. It gives us the opportunity to really extend applications like no way before. The tools that are out there are just simply amazing, in my opinion.
Yeah, and half the battle is knowing what's out there, knowing where to find it and how to install it. And I think the message for everyone on IBMi is that this is not exclusive to other platforms. This is very readily available to our ecosystem, and we can get that, the same fruits of that effort from other platforms work equally as well, if not better in some cases, on the IBMi.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who so they work exclusively in open source on the platform, and the things that I see them do are it's mind-boggling to me, really.
Yeah, and it's a big deal for the platform because I think it's opened us up, from the somewhat proprietary nature that the IBMi's legacy has, to basically being one for everybody, a platform that can do everything for everyone, and with all the added benefits of the security layer and the database integration and everything, all in one convenient package, and all designed to work together, as opposed to the piecemeal Lego blocks that we see on other systems and all the myriad problems that end up popping up as a result of that architecture.
And I can tell you how we use it in our customer set. How we typically do is we integrate the two. We don't just use one or the other. We use them collaboratively, of course. And I think that's where you get a lot of high value.
Exactly. Take that legacy application and give it some extra wheels with all the effort, all the bells and whistles you can extend it with things you can call and get back. So building a PDF, or crafting a document, an Excel document, anything, all these things that you can do with minimal, just matter of just passing the right parameters, oftentimes in JavaScript or what have you, but passing the right parameters and getting back to the object, and you're off to the races.
So it all ties together. Everything you're talking about all ties together, it sounds like.
Exactly. Yes. It's all one big happy family, all knit together.
One big happy family, sure. Just like everybody here at the event today,
yes.
right?
And some members of that family are dirty.
Oh no. Well, that's very funny, by the way. That's really great. All right. Well, anyway, Rob, I want to thank you very much for joining me here today. This has been a great little discussion, and I'm
my pleasure. I feel like I should be calling like a sports play. The quarterback's lining up on the 30 and
well, we can arrange that. How about that's a good idea for next time? How's that
do like
sound?
a Howard Cosell impersonation or something.
So
I'm
let's
dating
not forget.
myself.
So let's not forget we're giving out iChime koozies to all those who are here. So
Yes!
so this
My
is the
lifelong dream comes true. Thank you
there
so
you
much,
go.
Charlie.
Some I get iChime swag there for you.
All right. All right. Thank you,
A
sir.
pleasure, my friend.
All right.
And we'll see you next time. The one, the only,
Uh-oh.
the great one.
Where is he?
Mr. Mike Pavlak. Hello,
Hi.
sir. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
So, not that anybody might know that, but Mike has graciously, once again, I might add, stepped up, and he is the person who has been responsible for
Herding the cats.
herding the cats, as it were, getting all of our guests here. They're here because Mike was able to find them, no matter where they were hiding. We pulled them out and we got them onto the show today. So thank you for that. Truly, thank you very much for doing that. As always, appreciated. So I just want to throw one more thing out there before you share a little tech tip, and I want to congratulate you once again. Mike is a new graduate of a master's degree, and
I did. Yes.
I have to tell you that I'm thrilled for you. And anybody who puts that kind of commitment in, working full time and going at night or during extra hours studying for a master's degree, props to you. That's a big deal.
And I also kept teaching while I was doing this too.
And teaching.
Yeah.
And speaking.
So, yeah. And but I had to keep teaching because as a teacher, I had access to free textbooks. So part of my grad program, I didn't pay for one textbook. So, and you got to be strategic about this, especially when you have a lot of kids like that. So
Right. Well, anyway, so well done.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
And I'm gonna speak on behalf of the entire community. Congratulations to you, because it is something that's that's noteworthy. Absolutely.
Yep.
So
It was a fun journey, and I'm very pleasantly surprised that I thought I was going to take an extra semester, but I got it done earlier, and that was fantastic. My capstone project was actually on AI. I was training AI models on how to do image recognition, and the overall project was designed to be for programming robots for sorting trash. So what is a recyclable, and then what type of recyclable, and then what is trash, and that kind of thing. So someday you're going to have a robot sorting trash. I can say I helped advance that cause.
Wow. Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because I mean,
Sure.
Some of the top, not so much the trash, but training a model in general. I know that's a big deal, and that's on a lot of people's minds today. Obviously,
Absolutely.
What do you see from maybe from an IBMi perspective, or maybe from any application perspective? But it's doable. I mean, it's certainly doable.
Yes. Yeah. And so, and there's what, a couple of things that I learned from this experience. I learned a lot from the experience. Number one, that there's a lot of tools out there, but I gained another appreciation for, I'm a bit of a Python bigot, but the amount of, one of the reasons why Python is so exciting is because of all of the libraries that are already out there, right? That if people are excited, I didn't have to go out and invent something to train a model. I had multiple models to choose from in two major libraries. I did TensorFlow, and the other option would have been PyTorch. Like those are the two big ones in the Python landscape. But even within the TensorFlow area, I did three completely different architectures of models, and they all have their pros and cons. And I learned a lot just going through that exercise. Performance tuning the models. There's so many dials and controls. I also used AI to help me train the AI models. So, when I was struggling with certain things, I could go back to AI. I went out to the internet, went to Google, went to my instructor, and eventually got to the point where we were able to train a model. I got the model trained looking at 15,000 images, and I hit a 91% efficacy rate of, when you put a picture of something in front of it, 91% chance it was going to accurately categorize it. Which,
wow.
It was the instructor. I think he would have been happy with 70%. And when I hit 91 on one of the models, he's like, "What'd you do?" I said, "I worked hard on that one."
And if that was a real application, you'd be using computer vision, I guess, to see the trash as it goes through, I guess, on some kind of conveyor belt, and then that's where it determines.
Yeah, I mean, and in a longer complex situation,
many aspects of the sorting of trash and recyclables has been automated already. Like, the obvious ones, metal, right? You high powered magnets draw it up off of a conveyor belt line like you're talking about. Aluminum is interesting because aluminum doesn't suscept to a magnet, but it does suscept to sound barriers. So the next step after they take the steel out is they'll bombard it with a certain sound wave, and the aluminum literally pops off the conveyor line. But
Wow.
when you get, what's left after that, we've got paper, we've got plastics, there's all kinds, there's glass. And so, sorting all those out, it's extremely tedious. You're not going to pay humans to do this because, first of all, it'd be mind numbing and it'd be exorbitantly expensive. But highly specialized robots, and I'm not talking about like something that looks like a human robot. We're talking about just little machines that are programmed to grab and move, the repetitive stuff that would be boring as heck. That kind of stuff, that kind of programming, we're going to see more and more. And one of the things that I was kind of chatting about with my professor, who he has a PhD in this stuff, right? So it was really great to work with him. He and I were waxing philosophical about something where we might actually train robots at some point to do what we call like the equivalent of dumpster diving, but actually going into existing landfills and mining landfills for the trash that's in there. Because for years and years and years, we've been throwing away stuff that today could be highly valuable. It could be reused, it could be recycled, and no human's going to go into a landfill, but a robot could.
What a perfect use case.
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely.
what you've described there, I think is a great. I mean, the use case certainly, but the overall, the overreaching or overarching idea that you have something that's repetitive, it's a rote process, something that maybe a person doesn't want to do, it becomes mind numbing. That to me, it checks a lot of boxes for an AI project.
And absolutely, and I think those are like the appropriate and practical uses of robots. Will we get down to like the fully automaton sort of thing? Maybe eventually, but we're going to see a lot of replacement in those key places.
Excellent, Mike. Thank you for sharing that. By the way, congratulations to you again. I'm so proud of you. I want to put that out there.
Thank you, and thank you, Charlie, for doing this because we brought in a bunch of people. You brought in a bunch of people this time who hadn't presented this before, and I love talking to these people in line as they're waiting to do the interview with you because they're nervous. What am I going to do? I'm like, you'll be fine. and getting the word out there it's always a good thing. So thank you, Charlie, as always for iChime.
Thank you very much. All right, I'm getting the look. I'm getting this. Literally, I'm getting this look to me wrap it up because they're about to start another thing here in the conference center, in the event center. So we're going to wrap this up. This meeting, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Always a pleasure. Hope you enjoyed it. We're getting a couple of messages on the bottom of my screens, and thank you. So thank you everybody for joining us. And until next time, we will see you again. Thank you, everybody. Talk to you all soon. Bye now.